Welcome back to Mega Man 03. Last time we repelled an army, and today we'll be repelling 2 more. Right, so, I am doing these missions in order, which I usually try to get them in some variation. I don't go from left to right, but frankly, the missions here are in order of descending urgency. The first one is, hey, we need to get rid of this army as soon as possible. And Blizzax is, we've got some time for these guys. We can wait a little while to fight them. As always, it doesn't matter which order you do things. They do not screw you over if you took on the desert first. But here we are in the, familiar forest setting. But on the bright side, there is no grappling hook in this game, so we don't have to worry about that kind of platforming. We just have to worry about burning down the woods instead. So, right. Today we are in the Forest of Anatre, and the forests have actually had a small main gimmick. The first was Forest of Dices, the second was Forest of Notus, and again, this one is Forest of Anatre. So, the Japanese for these are slight variations of Greek words. In essence, we have been going to the West Forest, South Forest, and East Forest, respectively. To my knowledge, though, there is no Forest of Vorios, so yeah, we don't have to worry about seeing this place again. In a similar vein to the other forests, though, we do have kind of a gimmick based on the new weapon of the game. Again, it's not the chain rod, so I like this one a lot more. I mean, it amounts to block pushing puzzles, but I do find them far less annoying than the everything else. I guess in fairness, once you were past the small amounts of platforming to be done with the chain rod, it was still kind of, a lot of, box pushing, even with a chain rod. Either way, though, last episode I talked a lot about the imminent danger CL was in, cause I think that is important to note, cause again, we don't typically get a lot of humans in the Mega Man series in general, and they're usually not in mortal peril. Like, every once in a while Dr. Light would get kidnapped, but again, as always, the Mega Man Classic series is kind of a Saturday morning cartoon-esque, so I've never been particularly worried for Light's safety, if I'm being honest. No offense to him, but like, the worst Wily's going to do is just keep him in a cage. Just keep him tied up to a chair with ropes. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, I do think that's significant, but I don't want to take away from the fact that, CL did have a cool moment. I will give her that, though judging from this general setup, I'm pretty sure we're near the boss, so we'll wait on that cool moment. Introducing the monkey is more pressing right now. Okay, well, someone got very dramatic. Right, so good old Sun Wukong here is a little bit different because of his room setup. Instead of just kind of the standard room he got before, albeit it was kind of big, he's got a whole lot of blocks to bounce off of. He does also have an anti-air as well, so you'd gotta be careful of that. Honestly, though, I'm pretty sure I've always thought this was easier than his Mega Man 01 incarnation. But, yeah, now that I think the Mega Man 01 incarnation isn't so bad, this version definitely isn't the worst. He might catch you a little by surprise with his block gimmick, but eventually there will be fewer of those to kind of alter his trajectory, so eventually he'll be less surprising. He will turn on fewer dimes. He'll turn on quarters instead? Those are bigger, so they're, like, slightly easier to turn on, right? I mean, it's all coins, but... shrug. Either way, though, yeah, so... that's another stage completed in about 5 minutes. The mid-game does not give you very long stages. You might have been able to tell from the frequency I was getting these secret discs in, but yeah, they're not very long. Which is good, because these are the mid-game stages. It is cool that we kind of, oh yeah, we got a, heal chip. That, of course, is completely useless, in this playthrough, since I don't get hit anyway. That's very useful, though. But yeah, it's also definitely a bit of a difficult one to use, even if you don't worry about not getting hits, because it is going to detract from your time if you decide to use it. Honestly, I think it's just faster to kill things and hopefully get health from them, or just use a sub-tank. There seems to be a reasonable amount of time left to act. Anyway, where was I? I got completely derailed by the heal chip. So this is definitely an interesting stage, and I think probably the most interesting out of all of them. I think it's my favorite of the 3. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention, it's probably good that these are short stages since we are seeing guys again, and that's interesting, but it's good they don't overstay their welcome. Anyway, remember that chip we got back in Childre's stage? Yeah, it's really useful here because it just lets you skip over the pond, and that just means you can walk through the front door. Now, initially I was a little disappointed at this, because, you know, I kinda like feeling sneaky, and going through the underground lake passage does feel like it would be sneakier. But also, considering the way this place is made up, honestly, I can see why this is the preferable path. Cause yeah, if we go down into the lake, they probably figure that that is the location that we would have to go through, ergo they'd put their defenses there. Meanwhile here they just put up a bunch of towers and they're like, well surely Zero can't jump across a lake. That would be ridiculous. But as it turns out, no, he can. So yeah, you do want to take this path because it is the one where you can get all the secret discs without having to waste too much time. There isn't really anything for us down there, so we're just going to take the upper path and just stick with this for a bit. Also, that was a close one. Anyway though, right, so, Ciel's cool moment. In general, yeah, I think that's really just... Again, I didn't appreciate it as a kid, but I think it's really cool the way they treat Ciel in this series. Because of course this is an action platformer, so... when you play Mega Man Zero, you're here to, you know, play as Zero. You're here to play as the cool guy with the sword. So I think it's really cool that they actually managed to give the non-combatants such cool moments, and in general, I think that Zero's "I believe in you" line before he goes off to the missile factory, I think that's one of the most important lines in the series, in part because I think it describes Zero and Ciel's relationship so well. Like, yeah, no, Zero has faith that Ciel's going to do the right thing and do it well. Like, he's not afraid that she's messed up the coordinates to the factor, that he's going to get hurt. He knows Ciel, he knows that she'll do a good job. And you know who didn't believe in Ciel? El Pizzo. As much as he might say he likes Ciel, he never really gave her the respect to give her that sort of room to do what she feels is right and do it well. Anyway, here's Blizzak. Once again, he's really flipped for me since I was a kid. I used to think he was really easy. This battle's really hard, and I managed to kill him before he got his upgraded, like, Ice Wall attack, where he actually gets projectiles in it that can harm you, and not just the little, bits of snowflakes and crystals that slow you down. Yeah, genuinely, that's a short fight because I used his weakness, but yeah, I don't know what it is. He just feels so much harder to me now than he was when I was a kid. I don't know how that happened. He seemed so easy before, and yet he ruined so many runs, and maybe that is because I'm doing a no-hit as opposed to just a low-hit run. Because, you know, you are allowed to get some damage taken before you actually lose rank. But yeah, no, you didn't see much of the fight because all the failed takes, he did much more difficult things to avoid. Alright, so that is all 3 areas. They have backed off from all of the locations. Now, if we were to talk to the operators now, they actually would have pinpointed where we need to go next. But of course, that's gonna be it for today's episode. We're going to be finishing off the mid-game next time. For now, though, yeah, let's just leave this off on the note of, yeah, I really like the relationship between Zero and CL. I think they're a good duo. And again, I think it's impressive the way they manage to actually make you care about the person who doesn't fight in this game where you are here to fight things and feel cool. Again, that this is just a samurai genre game. But, you know, you also have to remember that, it's not just the samurai who does good things. They have to rely on others. Because, you know, you can be cool with a sword, but sometimes that on its own isn't good enough. So yeah, I've really liked CL's development throughout the series, and honestly, I think she does actually get pretty good amount of development. And honestly, I feel like she gets more development than Zero. Like, Zero definitely feels different than he did in the first game. I think there's a sort of confidence he has this time around that he maybe didn't have when he had amnesia. He's never really gotten his memories back, but I think we're at the point where it's very clear that that's nowhere near a concern for him. But yeah, CL's definitely gone much farther. She has gone from, I am barely holding this whole thing on by a thread, to, I do have to make us keep fighting, but that's the right thing to do. It is very cool, so yeah, again, that's a very important line, because it shows why these two are so great, and why other people don't click with CL as well. Again, it's mostly on LP, so look, dude, it doesn't matter how well-meaning you might say you were. If you just heard her out and let her try to go for peace, you would be alive and we'd be in a much different situation. Thanks, El Pizzo.